I believe in the XL Bass. Do you all believe in the XL Bass? I believe in the XL Bass. Oh, what? Oh my gosh, I almost lagged there. Yo, Dijon, I legit really thought about going Flamethrower there, but ain't no time to BM. Whew. XL Bass just hits differently. Hey everyone, I hope the end of Season 7 is going well for y'all, and good luck to everyone on their final push for their final ranks and ELOs. Earlier this week, someone in my Twitch chat while streaming was asking if XL Bastiodon is really worth it compared to regular Bastiodon. I'm going to show you all why XL Bastiodon is 100% worth it. I fortunately was lucky enough to get a rank 1, but obviously anything probably around the top 30-ish ranks is probably fine. I'll be showcasing the same line I used to hit Legend earlier this season, so feel free to check out that video for more additional matchups. With this XL Bastiodon line, I was actually able to climb the leaderboards quite a bit. I didn't do any adjustments to the previous move sets that I used for this line, so let's get right into the battles. Okay, so going to the very first battle, I actually got paired up against Michael from Niantic, and honestly a really great battler, and I don't even remember if I've ever beaten him in the past, and we've matched a few times, so I knew this was going to be a tough one. Now here's the thing, Michael tagged me in a tweet when he went and hit Legend, and he actually hit Legend with this team. And he's pretty high up on the leaderboards. The last time I saw, I think he was on maybe like rank 22 overall. So to see him running this Bastiodon lead makes me think he's probably running the same line. I generally stay in Bastiodon leads because usually this line beats other Bastiodon lines. However, because I have XL Bastiodon, I kind of want to get a slight energy advantage because I didn't want him to have an energy advantage on his mons, right? Usually I would not do this unless I knew it was a mirror, and in this specific scenario I had a little heads up information that it probably was a mirror, and he probably thought the same thing because, you know, I'm running the line that I probably created. So this is going to be real interesting. So we see his Pelipper come out. I'm just going to let this Mew go. Actually managed to get to Wild Charge, but I kind of panicked and threw the Surf, but still able to grab the shield, so that's really nice. And what I'm going to do here is start farming down this Bastiodon. So again, my XL Bastiodon, as you can see, can survive that last Flamethrower from the opposing Bastiodons. Almost pressed the Weather Ball there, but decided to go straight for the farm down. Am going for a bait here. I don't know if it might be a little risky. And I actually, yeah, so he doesn't shield, which is very good call by him. Luckily, we CMP there, so that's actually pretty huge. And he actually undercharges, which is perfect because he knows I have a Stone Edge stored. So I'm going to swap in once my timer's up and kind of take out the Pelipper. Super close match. Again, XL Bastiodon was able to pull that off because they were able to survive that last Flamethrower from him. Regular one wouldn't, right? Yeah, so this is what I generally do in Bastiodon leads because I know that my Bastiodon does win the lead against Mirror Bastiodons because of the XO in rank 1. Obviously, if I'm going against another rank 1 XL Bastiodon or high rank XL Bastiodon, we probably just simultaneously KO. Most people at the current stage do not have an XL Bastiodon. It's just not an investment that I think people are willing to make, or they maybe didn't save all the Shieldons to swap them for XLs or etc. Because of this, I'm going to leverage this to my advantage. My Bastiodon lead line usually beats most other Bastiodon lead lines. There's a few exceptions, like double Razor Leafer is really tough, especially if one of them is Tropius. Yeah, this is a pretty popular one. That I don't know if Zion made it, but I know he definitely popularized it. He might have made it as well. But it's Bastiodon, Sableye, and Medicham. Sometimes it's Bastiodon double fighters as well. I haven't seen that as much lately, but that used to be a really common line. So obviously the Sableye has an energy advantage, but my Pelipper is in a good spot because once I get rid of the Sableye, my Mew has a ton of play against the Medicham. And Pelipper does get to these Weather Balls pretty quickly. Actually goes for a shield right there, which is perfect because now shields are down and I'm able to come in with my Mew and just finish off the Medi, and my opponent is going to concede right there. So G-Fisk, pretty rough lead. What I like to do is swap into Pelipper. If you could, sometimes, I don't know if it's like an intended mechanic or not, but sometimes if you come in fast enough, you're able to actually not be behind on the mud shot. So obviously Pelipper versus G-Fisk, the one that wins that matchup is the one that has an energy lead, or Pelipper because it wins CMP. But obviously in the lead, they usually get a mud-shot head start, right? So I'm going to go straight for these weather balls here. They did swap out slower, so you can see I'm actually trying to swap to my Bastiodon here to start farming down this Mandibuzz. Now, after they throw this move, their switch timer is going to be up, so they're coming back in with G-Fist, which is fine. Main thing is I'm not going to win switch advantage, so I'm never going to have it. So this is going to be a matchup one way or another, right? So that's fine. My Bastiodon goes down. I'm going to let it go down and to go straight for the Surf right here against the G-Fist. This is going to put it in a really pretty much take it out. This looks like it's probably going to be an Earthquake, but they actually Rock Slide me. Interesting. So I swapped to my Pelipper to try to catch an Earthquake, but end up not working out. But that's fine, because now I just wing attack down the Mandibuzz, and then I'm in a good spot here. So Mew is going to win CFP versus G-Fist, so what I'm going to do is charge up to a Wild Charge and a Surf, and go for the Wild Charge, and then go straight for the Surf to take out the G-Fist. So G-Fist, definitely a terrible lead for this line. We have a lot of play still. You definitely have to watch out for that Rock Slide. I usually shield it, because if they land it, they usually land it so that they could chip you down to ensure they win switch advantage, right? So that's why I usually shield it. Okay, so this is a tough line too. And I saw Medi, I saw a counter swap Charm. I was like, it's gotta be double Charm back. What I do is I always charge up to the Hurricane and then throw. If they shield, good, right? And you bait them. If you don't shield, just go for another Weather Ball, right? But because they did shield, now I was able to force them to drop both shields or lose switch. Once they lost switch, this is game, right? Because Mew's going to have a great matchup against Medi. In all likelihood, it's a second Charmer in the back or something else weak to Bastiodon. Maybe a Cresselia. I don't know what else it could be, to be honest. Anytime someone safe swaps a Charmer, you got to assume they have a second Charmer back. Because Charmers are usually pretty bad safe swaps because they don't really have a lot of play. All right. Okay, yeah, so I am undercharging a Flamethrower there because I didn't want this Medi to farm me down, right? So that's the biggest concern. So you always want to, you know, not give your opponents as much of a lead as possible. I don't really need much help from the Bastiodon. At this point, I'm in a good spot. If I took out that Clefable right away, this Medicham might have enough energy to throw multiple Ice Punches at my Mew and still win, right? So definitely something to watch out for. Now, Deoxys Defense lead, also a tough one, but the good news is Deoxys Defense is taking neutral from pretty much all the moves on this team, which means that there's still ways to chip it down, especially with the Bastiodon, right? Bastiodon actually does okay against Deoxys Defense, especially if it's not running Thunderbolt, right? It doesn't win it, obviously the counters are double effective, super effective, but you are able to do quite a bit of chip damage with the Stone Edge and with the Smackdowns. So my opponent is shielding right there. They probably didn't need to shield that because honestly a Hurricane wouldn't take out the Umbreon either. But I guess they really just want to ensure that they win switch here and then chip down my Bastiodon as much as possible. So that's fine. I'm really glad I got the shield. So now I'm going to just straight farm down this Umbreon. This is like the perfect farm range. I'll get just to pretty much a Stone Edge and a half, which is almost capping out on full energy. So I'm not going to spam move right away just in case it's something like, I don't know, G-Fisk. But they do come straight in with the Deoxys Defense, throw the Stone Edge, then dip. Because if they have something I can farm down, if I don't throw that Stone Edge then, the issue is I can't farm more energy, right? I'm going to hit that energy cap, right? So I have 2 shields left. I have to spend these because the Deoxys Defense, even as Thunderbolt, is not going to be as threatening as these Weather Balls against the Mew. I do whatever I can to chip this down. I'm in a really bad spot now because now the Deoxys Defense can farm me down. I need to do as much damage from Shadow Claws as possible. Shields are down though, so I need to get that Stone Edge. And he is actually running Thunderbolt, so this is actually quite bad for my team. But this looks like it's just going to be a Psycho Boost or a Rock Slide. And then that's perfect because I know I survive it. Just get the Stone Edge. Still able to take the victory right there. So despite never having switch advantage there, what you need to do is tag team and just constantly chip down, right? Use the bulk of Bastiodon to start chipping down the Deoxys Defense and stuff like that. Again, if you looked at the HP on my Bastiodon, can't do this with a regular Bastiodon. You had to use the XL. Now this is 100% matchup where you need the XL Bastiodon. Against the Sableye, it's really tough. What you need, there's a few things you need to do. First, you can't let them sneak a Shadow Claw through when you're throwing a charge move, right? Second, you have to also get a Stone Edge through yourself. And third, it has to be XL Bastiodon. So you saw I actually won the Sableye lead 0 shield to 1. Usually Sableye would win that in almost every sequence situation, but what I did there was I ensured that they didn't sneak a Shadow Claw through when I was throwing a charge move. And then also, I was able to get at least 1 or 2 smackdowns through when they were throwing charge moves. And that's what saved it, right? Because now I have alignments, I have a Hurricane ready for that Meganium, right? So I'm going to go straight for this Wild Charge right here, and then take it out with a Surf. Surprisingly, Skarmory is actually quite bulky, so it actually survives a Wild Charge. But here, I have the Hurricane ready, and able to finish it off, right? If I didn't win that switch advantage, I probably just finished off the Sableye with Pelipper, and that they come in Skarmory, my Mew has no play, right, against Meganium. Right, so when they counter swap their Sableye, I usually just take the foul play, throw Stone Edge. Almost every single Sableye will shield this. Now they're down shields, you come in Pelipper, you're in a good spot, right? Because you can just go straight for the Weather Ball. I'm going to just let this move go, even if it's a return, right? I still live this, and it is a return, so this is not good. Right, so it's a return because now they can Shadow Call me down. They go down 2 shields to 0. They really want to avoid this Zapdos into the Bastiodon, which I completely understand. Really smart play by my opponent, because my switch timer is much behind theirs, which means that they could lock in this Bastiodon with the Medicham for quite a while. So I'm going to let the first Ice Punch go, but I need to start shielding this. So now here's the play I have in mind. I need to Wild Charge the Zapdos, but also I need to just double shield this Mew. Farm down this Medicham, because now their Medicham is stuck in this matchup for quite a while. Now here comes the Zapdos. I don't know how much damage it's going to do, but it's just Shadow Zapdos. Able to pretty much almost one-shot it. Let's see what he comes back in with. And it's going to be the Medicham. A little bit nervous that they might have the Ice Punch. I'm going to throw this Surf. I was losing track of energy. Now I throw the second Surf and take out the Sableye. Mew pretty much did a little team sweep right there. But you kind of have to be creative when, you know, you're losing switch that hard, right? All right, so Shadow Politoed. This is obviously not a great lead matchup either. So what I'm going to do is try to force that shield with the Weather Ball, pretending it might be a Hurricane. I do grab the shield, but they throw another move right here. So at this point, oh no, it's not really worth it in my opinion. So I'm going to just let this go. Shadow Politoed, or Politoed in general, right? It's not too bad. I was actually kind of letting them farm a little bit, just so that, or take me out a little bit, so I have a little bit more farm. So maybe I should undercharge my Weather Ball there to give myself a little bit more farm here. But it's fine. Ooh, this is bad too. So this Mew is not going to do great against this Abomasnow. But my play here at this point is I'm going to do as much damage as I can to this Abomasnow. And then I'm going to, I'm going to let this go, right? I'm going to just try to finish off this Politoed with a 2-to-1 shield Bastiodon with energy. I have Stone Edge loaded, right? This is going to be a little rough, right? But the main thing is I got to watch out for Earthquake. I could tank a Weather Ball, so I'm going to just hope it's not Earthquake, and it is just a Weather Ball. So now I'm in a good spot. Now I just shield everything remaining, go for that last Stone Edge, right? These Weather Balls are going to come out quick, though. But here's the thing. Politoed, pretty popular in the meta, is not going to resist Stone Edge damage, unlike the Mud Boys like Swampert and Whiscash. But Swampert and Whiscash are a little bit less common because of Politoed. Able to beat a Shadow Politoed lead without having switch advantage at all throughout it, right? Again, you can't do this without the XL Bastiodon. In that matchup, you might be able to be fair. But you gotta use the bulk to your advantage and just do progressive chip damage throughout, right? When you don't have lead. If you don't win switch, you still can't give up just because you have a bad lead, right? So this is a weird one. Jellicent, I usually swap in Mew. I don't know why I decided to go Pelipper this time around, but it's fine. So I usually tag team Jellicent a little bit, especially that was a bubble one. I didn't want to get like debuffed too much. And I didn't throw a Weather Ball there on purpose, even though I had it. I need some extra energy and farm on my Bastiodon, right? So these bubbles are starting to add up against my Bastiodon. They probably shield this one again. Again, I'm gonna let it go. Or they're going to shield it, and now I'm going to let the Shadow Ball go. It's going to do a decent amount of damage. I'm going to go home in with Mew. I need this shield from Mew in case they throw another Shadow Ball. And then, of course, they throw a Bubble Beam. Not a great spot to be in. So I'm just going to go double Wild Charge on this Ninetales here. And not able to finish off, but this is fine. I get a little bit extra energy on my Bastiodon. And as you can see, I'm kind of close to the Stone Edge. Finishing off with Stone Edge. Again, look at the Bastiodon's health. Can't do that without an XL Bastiodon, right? But yeah, I could have probably played that one out a little better by going Mew there. Alright, this is a pretty interesting matchup. So I don't even know if I saw the fast move on the Ninetales, but they come in Umbreon here. I kind of need to chip this down first before I swap. So what I do is I throw a Stone Edge. Now they throw their energy. So they're probably fairly energy dry. Now I come with Pelipper, right? Maybe they had a little residual energy, right? Because I think they got to foul play a little sooner than usual. But this is good, because now my Pelipper can still handle Umbreon. They actually shield the Umbreon. I'm gonna let this go too, right? Because this means that yeah. So I need to save the Bastiodon for the Ninetales, but I can't just swap straight to Pelipper, otherwise I lose against Umbreon, right? So I'm gonna shield this Umbreon right here and then farm it down. This is good. So this is really solid. I maintain switch advantage, still able to line up the Bastiodon versus the Ninetales. And then honestly, between Bastiodon and Mew, and if you have switch advantage, you have really good coverage. You have near perfect coverage, to be honest. There's some things that are kind of tricky, like a Azu. Okay, so he actually comes in with Politoed here. You're going straight for the Weather Ball. Never shield the first one, right? You don't want to start shielding until you debuff yourself. I just go straight for the Wild Charge at this point. I just figured I'll save a shield for the Politoed if need be on my Bastiodon, so because I could just go for Stone Edge there. Kind of like the play I did earlier. But I think my opponent was guessing that I was going for the bait. As you can see, I was pretty close to Stone Edge anyway, so I was probably just going to go straight Stone Edge against the Politoed. Alright, and this is going to finish off the Ninetales. So even when you win lead really hard, it actually doesn't matter too much. Altaria too, right? This is a really good lead. We had to play the switches really smart. If they bring Altaria in the lead, of course they're going to have Check Sebastian and like G-Fist in the back, right? So you can't just assume it's a given just because you win lead. That's why I tell people, like, just because you win lead doesn't mean you're going to win the match. There's a lot of times where I win lead, I lose, right? So again, similar to like the Umbreon matchup or the Sableye safe swap, you can't just bring in the Pelipper and take it out. That was actually a slight misplay by me, because I should have thrown the Weather Ball first to avoid that second Frenzy play, because then I didn't have to spend a shield. But either way, still able to drop a Hurricane on the Altaria, which probably isn't worth it in my opinion. I'm just going to assume this is not like an Earthquake or anything, and then go for the Surf right here. It's going to do a good chunk of damage, and then they shield. It's a good shield by my opponent because it's going to do way more damage than a Stone Edge. And then this Swampert is quite low at this point. So I'm just going to let the Mew go, and then start coming in with my Bastiodon. I probably will have to tank one Hydro Cannon at this rate, but I'm going to just farm it down with Smackdowns. And here comes the Altaria, and as you can see, the Altaria quite low on health, able to finish it off here, and then finish off the Swampert with the Smackdowns. XL Bastiodon actually has a Mudshot bulk point against Swamperts. So those Mudshots are actually doing less damage. If you saw how little health I have my Bastiodon, I probably wouldn't have done that without the XL Bastiodon. So I hope you don't need any further convincing that XL Bastiodon has a lot of play. Obviously, there's a lot of my matchups where I didn't need the XL Bastiodon for, and I could have won with my regular Bastiodon, but there definitely were a lot of battles that I would have lost without the XL Bastiodon. A big shout out and thank you to all my patrons who've been supporting my content creation. If you'd like to have early access to some of my strategies and lineups, or see behind the scenes footage of my battles, feel free to sign up in the link down below. If you like this video, feel free to give it a like and share, subscribe for future content, hit that notification bell to get alerted right when I post a new video, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.